Right guys, we're on now to day 4 and 5. Now these are where we do the really extended or prolonged fasting. This is where the fastings become very aggressive. This is where most of your sort of health benefits are going to come from for things like, for example, autophagy. So let's break down autophagy a wee bit. I put a video up on about this yesterday to give you a wee bit of a heads up. It can be quite complicated, but remember the whole point of this fast, this aggressive fast, is there's a lot less calories coming in than usual because we can't eat. So like I said at the very start, we do not count calories or count anything when we're fasting. This is a 5-day aggressive fasting challenge, and please remember the point of fasting is it naturally reduces the amount of calories you consume without having to track them, because there's only so much time to eat. You just eat naturally on that eating window, which then would mean we will naturally be eating less protein. So we have to hyper focus on the food that we do eat being high protein to make sure that we're not burning too much muscle tissue. But it doesn't mean that we're counting numbers. That's the whole point of fasting, or an aggressive fast over 5 days. So on average, like in a 4-hour eating window, it's going to be half of your daily calories that you would normally eat, because you've only 4 hours to eat, right? And by 4 hours to eat, it doesn't mean you're consuming food for the entire 4 hours. It means that the first meal and then your last meal will probably be within that 4-hour window, right? So for me, I'll break the fast with a protein shake. I'll have eggs and avocado for meal 1. The same eggs and avocado I would have if I was having my breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning. Exact same meal. Then my meal after that will be 7:30, which will be just whatever dinner as a mix. And in between those, I'll have a protein shake. So that's about half the consumption of what I would usually eat, because there's less time. Alright, so that's the way we want to try and put it. So now in a 2-hour eating window, I'll have my protein shake, I'll have something to eat, I'll have the main dinner, maybe slightly larger than normal because of only one meal, and then before I finish the eating window, I'll have Greek yogurt with a scoop of protein, a couple of blueberries, a couple of bits of dark chocolate, and a couple of pecan nuts. It's probably about, I don't know, 600 calories, 700 calories for me, whereas with my normal day is 3,000 calories. So that's why it accelerates weight loss so quick, because remember, if I'm burning 3,500 calories every day, if I only eat 600 calories, I'm still burning 3,500 calories. But the deficit, right, so that the 2,900 calories that I didn't eat, I'm still using, but I'm using from body fat. Does that make sense? Because it's energy. It's stored energy that I'm going to tap into. So I've still used the same energy, but it's where the energy comes from. It either comes from the food that I've eaten or the food that I've stored. The calories that I've eaten or the calories that I've stored. But if I still eat 3,500 calories and I eat it in 2 hours, then I'm still eating the same amount of calories I've used. I've still energy balance. Just because I didn't eat all day and I still eat 3,500 calories, well, I'm still in an energy net balance. Does that make sense? So the benefit of the fasting is I'm burning fat the entire time, but then there's less calories coming in to be able to replenish that. Does that make sense? So if I burn 3,000 calories from fasting and then I eat 3,000 calories, my weight's going to stay the same, because I've then just added in the calories that I've just burnt. Energy balance. Alright, so you have to understand what we're trying to achieve here. So today, look at the long fast. Now the reason why this is so many health benefits is because there's going to be less calories coming in. So your body's going to go into a deep caloric deficit. When that happens, the body tries to pull calories from anywhere, right? So what happens now is a thing called autophagy. Autophagy basically means to eat thyself. It's a Greek word or Latin word or something, to eat thyself, autophagy. So what happens here in your body, there's normally cells floating about there, sort of potentially mutatable cells, things that can turn into cancer and all this bad stuff. And the body then goes, you know what, I've got so little food coming in here, I'm actually going to eat these cells because I need to replenish cells. Your body's always trying to renew, fix itself all the time. So there's two things that happen here in your body. Well, the one that normally happens, whenever we eat food and we get that insulin spike, there's a hormone that comes along with the insulin called IGF-1, insulin growth factor 1. Now, they used to assume that insulin growth factor 1 was a really important hormone, hence why they used to recommend eat small and often, because you had all these wee insulin spikes, so you had all these wee hits of IGF-1, because when insulin goes up, it releases IGF-1. IGF-1, insulin growth factor, makes things grow. Right, so bodybuilders will actually inject IGF-1 to make everything grow. So from a cellular point of view, all the cells in your body are constantly under stress and breakdown. It's called oxidation, right? So the body then has to fix these cells. If IGF-1 is present, what the body tries to do is to fix the cell, right? Fix the existing cell. There's a damage here, I'm going to fix it. It's damaged, I'm going to repair it. It's damaged, I'm going to repair it. I'm going to fix it. But what happens here, the more you fix the one cell over and over and over and over and over as you age, there's a chance that the cell becomes mutated or doesn't work right. That's what cancer basically is, or a tumour is. The cell mutates into something that it wasn't originally because it just can't repair the same. So imagine you have a car and a part breaks down and you go to a mechanic, and instead of changing the part, he just keeps trying to fix the same part. Now, after a while, that part becomes unfixable, right? That cell then becomes mutated, doesn't work right, and everything starts to break down. So when we're fasting and there's no food coming in, there's no insulin, there's no IGF-1, the body goes into default mode or stress mode or survival mode, and it goes, right, what am I going to do with these cells? What I'm going to do is I'm going to eat the cell, and then I'm going to replace it with a new cell. So cell renewal rather than fixing the cell all the time. So this is basically like the fountain of youth. This is why after a long fast you find that your skin, the collagen in your skin amplifies, because the body's replacing the cell rather than trying to just keep fixing the cell. So it's basically the fountain of youth, cell renewal throughout your whole body. Now, I mean your whole body. We're talking liver cells, heart cells, kidney cells, your skin cells, muscle cells. All your cells go through this autophagy state, but it only happens in these really deep, long fasts. As long as we stay in that severe calorie deficit, forcing the body to use energy from somewhere else. But at the end of the day, even if it's only in an hour, you still eat your total calories that you need, then we're not getting into that deep caloric deficit. All we're doing is prolonging the calories. Does that make sense? Alright, think about it. And we're going to do that for 2 days. So we're going to have one small meal, well, small relative to your daily eating. So then tomorrow when we wake up, we're deep back in that deep fasting state again for another 22 hours. So we're really hitting that autophagy, we're really renewing all those cells, we're really burning up all that body fat. Alright, this then massively reduces inflammation, helps to all your hair and your nails, your skin. It basically helps to replenish and give your stomach microbiome a real good reset, so your digestive system is going to kick in even better, which is why we take the apple cider vinegar, because we want to neutralize the stomach acids. So at the end of this, your stomach should be feeling really good, processing energy better, so we feel better, look better through everything that we're doing. Remember, it's because of the deep calorie deficit that's created by the long fasting times and a short eating window. If we consume the same calories each day but just condense them, it's still the same net energy balance over the week. Does that make sense? But we prioritize protein because when we're in that deep caloric deficit, the body will break down some muscle tissue. So if we focus on protein as much as possible, we counteract that slightly. It's not impossible to neglect the whole thing. This is why you should be doing resistance training, part of your fasting, part of your lifestyle. So we replenish the muscle fiber with the protein that we're eating, because you will not really build protein or build muscle unless there's a stimulus to build muscle. It's called muscle protein synthesis. We've got to stimulate muscle growth, and then we use the protein then to repair the muscle that we've broken down during the workout. So this is why you need to be doing resistance training, because anytime you're going to calorie deficit, you're burning protein. And this is why we have autophagy. This is where all the health benefits come from. So everything we've done so far is primarily just about a weight loss, because you've been in a calorie deficit, a deeper calorie deficit than usual. Alright, now we're going to even deeper again, but this goes way above weight loss benefits and deep into those health benefits. Does that make sense? This is why we only do this like once a month. This is a very aggressive protocol because there's so little calories coming in over the 5 days. We're going deep into a calorie deficit. Not the same calories, but condensed. That wouldn't make sense, right? Just think about the process that we're trying to do, right? It's like, let's say your car travels 300 miles a day and we put in 300 miles of fuel. That's energy balance, right? Instead of stopping at 6 petrol stations because we have 6 small meals, we stop at 1, but we still put in the same amount of fuel, then you still have the same energy balance. So you've never really tapped into your reserves because you've put on the same energy that you've used, just in different timing. That's not really what this is about. There is some hormonal benefits to that. For example, cortisol coming down, insulin coming down, but from an energy balance point of view, which is how we burn body fat, that would stay the same. Does that make sense? So, any more questions on this, please message me. Please, if you're not sure of anything, message me. Let's make sure we get the best out of this possible. So we've got 2 days left. Remember, when this ends, we'll go through this again tomorrow, but Saturday morning, then we wake up and we weigh ourselves on Saturday morning. We have to have a proper break in the fast protocol for Saturday to avoid that overeating and overconsumption and feeling like shit and end up constipated and things like that, because we've just had so many calories condensed. Right? So we need to go into this Saturday and Sunday pretty gently and wisely, again, because the whole point of the fast is you should feel great. Your sleeping should be improved, your skin quality should be better, your energy should be better. Remember, if you're not feeling good, it's because you're dehydrated. I cannot emphasize this enough. Everything that you do here is supposed to make you feel good and energized. If you're not having enough salt, you're not going to get those benefits. Everything that you're feeling, headaches, tiredness, hunger, is not hunger, it's dehydration, right? I keep trying to emphasize this at the start of every single one of these fasting challenges, and still people think they don't need it. You will feel like garbage if you're not hydrated. It's not hunger, it's not tiredness, it's not headache, it's because of lack of food, it's because of dehydration. Now, today I'll probably have salt maybe 3, maybe 4 times. If I'm training, which it will be, I'll have salt before it, I'll have salt after it, I'll have salt in water during it. Right? Salt, sodium is the key to life. You would not be able to stay alive. And this other thing as well, it kind of fries my head a wee bit. Back in the 70s and 80s, there was this fear mongering about salt. Take salt, you can have a heart attack. Yes, table salt. But then people completely eliminated salt out of their life, and it's actually making them worse. Your blood would actually coagulate. You're going to just dehydrate. You're not going to live well or good or anything like that because of lack of salt. You need salt in your diet. It's the most important nutrient that we can actually have. Alright, any more questions? Let me know.